Good morning everyone and welcome to my channel English Literature. Today we'll take a short journey through Spenser's The Faerie Queen. Spenser's The Faerie Queen, you know Spenser is one among the most influential writer of Elizabethan period, and among all of his works the Faerie Queen is the most significant one. It is an incomplete epic poem by Spenser. So Edmund Spenser 1552 to 1553 to 1599, the lifespan of Edmund Spenser. The first half of the book, that is book 1 to book 3. Faerie Queen is divided into two parts because it was published in two parts, two times. So the first three books, that is from book 1 to 3, it was published in 1590. And the second half, that is from book 4 to book 6, these three parts were published in 1596. This is very important to keep in mind, that two publication dates and the number of books published in each time, 3 and 3. It was written in Spenserian stanza. What is Spenserian stanza? It is a fixed verse form invented by Spenser in his epic poem The Faerie Queen, where each stanza contains 9 lines. So each stanza there will be 9 lines, but among them the 8 lines, that is the first 2 quatrains, they are in iambic pentameter, and then it was followed by an Alexandrine. What is Alexandrine? Alexandrine is the line which is written in iambic hexameter, not pentameter, but written in iambic hexameter. So what is Spenserian stanza? Spenserian stanza is consisting of 9 lines. Among them 8 lines are in iambic pentameter, and the last line it is written in iambic hexameter, or it is in other words call it Alexandrine. And the rhyme scheme is AB, AB, BC, BC and last C. It is an allegorical presentation. What is allegory? There is something underlying or hidden meaning and from the apparent theme. So allegorical presentation of virtues. Several virtues are celebrated in this long epic poem through the Arthurian knights in the mythical fairy land, and it was written in the praise of Queen Elizabeth I. The first 3 books are dedicated to Queen Elizabeth, and it was sponsored by Sir Walter Raleigh. Spenser wrote a letter to Walter Raleigh that contained the preface of this work. It is very important to keep in mind what was the preface of this book. This preface of the book was the letter to Sir Walter Raleigh. It was actually, the plan was for 24 books. 24 books, among them 12 are based on public virtues and the other 12 are based on first 12 are based on private virtues and the last 12 are based on public virtues, but unfortunately he could not finish all the plan. He just finished 6 books and the number 7 is in fragment. Different knights are represented here in this Faerie Queen, and they stands for different virtues. Source of this book. The source, I can say that it is from Aristotle, Thomas Aquinas and Thomas Mallory, Small T.D. Arthur. Faerie Queen is actually Gloriana, Elizabeth I. As Virgil celebrated Augustus Caesar's Rome, Spenser in his Aeneid, so Spenser also celebrated Tudor dynasty to King Arthur, connected to King Arthur in Faerie Queen, and Virgil celebrated Augustus Caesar's Rome in his Aeneid. Ben Jonson said Spenser writ no language, and Samuel Johnson said useful source for absolute mad archaic words. Now book number 1, we previously told that there is every night, each night, and they are celebrating one virtue. So book number 1, the knight is Red Cross Knight, and the virtue he is celebrating is virtue of holiness. Now the characters, the characters who are involved in this book, they are here. You can have a look at the characters. It may be a question that in which book we can get giant Orgoglio, and then you can say it is from book number 1. Book number 2, there is a knight Sir Gawain, and he represents the virtue of temperance, and again there is the character list. Book number 3, that is virtue of chastity, and is celebrated by Britomart. This is a lady knight. Keep in mind in which book you find a lady knight and what is her name, that is Lady Britomart in book number 3. And there is a character list of book 3, and now book 4, that is Virtue of Friendship, Campbell and Tillamont. These two knights represent this virtue of friendship. It is a story of Britomart and Amoret, King Arthur. Book 5 is Virtue of Justice, and knight who represents it is Sir Artegall. The story of Artegall, Duessa, Brat and Beast. And book 6, that is Virtue of Courtesy, and the knights are Calidore represent this virtue of courtesy. Okay, and the story of, so in book 6, which knight is celebrating which virtue, you can say clearly from this list. Just keep this book number and the name of the characters and the virtue and the knight. Book 7, which is incomplete, it is represent the virtue of constancy, and this fragment is called the mutability cantos. This it is not completed, it is just in a fragment. So it is a brief guide and brief overview of Spenser's The Faerie Queen. I think it will be helpful for you. Thank you. Bye.